Welcome to another quick and dirty review. I'm Joe.
I'm Faust.
And we're bringing you Isla del Hun.
Peninsula of Canines?
Yes. The Isle of Dogs.
The Isle of Dogs.
Isle of Dogs.
Yes.
So...
It's a Wes Anderson movie.
It's a Wes Anderson movie. It's a stop-action movie. It took 4 years to shoot. It has some of my favorite actors in it. But I must say this. I heard a rumor.
Okay. Did you hear the rumor?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That this movie was a Wes Anderson movie.
Yes, it is a Wes Anderson movie. If you are not familiar with Wes Anderson movies, this might not be the one to start with.
Or it might be the one to start with.
I don't think so. I mean, people go into it expecting a certain thing. This feels like it has a lot of Japanese overtones.
Yes, it does.
It takes a lot from Japanese cinema, has a lot of inspiration in that.
But I also like the fact that the movie slaps you directly in the face and goes, this is not going to be in English.
Yeah.
Except for when the dogs are talking. And some interpreters.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, I can respect that. And Wes Anderson is kind of his own film genre. As it is already.
Pretty much.
The Grand Budapest was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, if you're going to
start,
all time. It's one of the most approachable Wes Anderson movies. If you're going to start getting into his movies, I would strongly recommend Grand Budapest and probably Darjeeling Express.
You're right.
And then, but every single one of them kind of holds up as sort of a cinematic work of art.
Right.
And I say that in kind of like how impenetrable art is for general public. You know, because you usually have to have it explained to you. And I'm not going to explain every single Wes Anderson movie out
And
there.
if you really want a breakdown of Wes Anderson movies, there's a thing called the Honest Trailers of Wes Anderson. So you can always go watch that and chuckle to your head off. But, I mean, you got a slew of his movies from... You got the Life Aquatica, you've got Rushmore, you've got Mr. Fox, the Fantastic Mr. Fox, you've got all kinds of... The Royal Tannenbaums. The man does weird things with cinema, but he does weird, amazing things.
Amazing things, and they're very well shot, very well directed. He usually manages to get a very, very like star-studded cast together for a lot of his stuff.
I was actually surprised there wasn't a single Owen brother in this.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
And so,
yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah, but this had Bryan Cranston, Ned, Edward Norton, Bob Balaban, Bill Murray, Jeff Goldblum, big names, big, great, wonderful names. And I mean, heck, it had Scarlett Johansson.
It had a Yoko Ono.
Yeah, it did.
In it,
and she was the lab assistant, I think.
Yeah.
And so it made sense for a lot of the stuff he decided to do, and I enjoyed it. I will say that there are parts of the movie that if you're really trying to like rip it to shreds analytically, you're going to see some pretty clear linear paths through the movie. But that being said, it's still quite an adventure. And the cinematics they use on the eyes for the dogs is fantastic.
Yeah, the eyes especially it looks like they got a lot of concentration on the detail, but the detail in general is very well. Like it's the sets and the effects that they brought in, you know, and it's very obviously like, oh, that's some dyed cotton ball or something like that.
Yeah, my favorite thing's the smoke.
Yeah.
Because it looks like he was just like, cotton explosion.
So there is a lot of like that whole old crafts kind of being brought to the fore and then really blown out of proportion with especially a lot of like the very lavish sets and landscapes and things like that. The model work, the puppetry is all very well done. The stop motion, once again, very well done.
Kind of made me want to watch a Wallace and Gromit movie.
Yeah, there's that. And the thing about it is Wallace and Gromit is very obviously family and for kids and things like that. And this... I wouldn't really put this as a family picture. And unfortunately, with the way that it was advertised, I really think that...
I really wouldn't classify it as solidly family. It definitely has some good undertones for family, but it still has what Wes Anderson does best, which is he puts a child into a spot which adults have to deal with.
Yeah.
Constantly. If you look at almost any one of his movies, that is a really adult theme for the idea of what's going on.
And these are children having to handle this.
Right, and I think that's what he's always been really focused on with the, all right, guess what, you grow up faster, go. So, but he did a good job on this. There are some Wes Anderson movies I just don't like. And there are some that I really do like. This definitely qualifies in one of the ones I like.
And that's the same for me, and I think for anybody who really is an aficionado of Wes Anderson movies, nobody would actually say that every single one of his movies holds up. There's always ones that have this. It's really a matter of strengths and weaknesses. If the strengths really stand out to you and the weaknesses aren't that deal breaking, then it really kind of shines. And I don't think that this one really has too many deal breakers.
No, I don't think it does either.
It is Isle of Dogs. Would dog lovers like it? No, it shows a lot of dogs, dealing with hardship and things like that. Would people who don't like dogs like it? No, there are a lot of dogs in it.
I was really surprised the cats never got their day. There's no real big cat fights.
Yeah, they do set up that whole cats versus dog thing.
And then the cats never even get involved.
Yeah.
Which
weird. Is very cat-like.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth.
I mean, at the same time, yes, but at the same time, no. My hope was to at least have the cats have a single line in the.
And I will say the one kind of detraction from having this whole ensemble cast is, while it works well in other Wes Anderson movies, that you can kind of just see them on screen acting a part and go, oh, hey, it's that. That's Bill Murray, that's Owen Wilson. You can really point him out and just be like, oh, it's that, and just move on from there. In this one, they're all playing different animals, different puppets for the most part. Actually, entirely, they're all playing different puppets. And none of them are really made to look like the person playing it.
No, the only one that looked close was Yoko Ono.
So a lot of the time I was sitting there going, like Edward Norton's dog, I was sitting there going, where have I heard that voice before? Because I never really connect Edward Norton's voice to Edward Norton.
Yeah. And
then once I saw it was Edward, I was like, oh, okay. And then we both got shocked because one of the main characters is played by Liev Schreiber.
Yeah.
And that guy, he shows up in a lot.
Yeah.
But the fact that we couldn't really put a face to the voice, it is kind of distracting from the narrative. Now, if you just let that go and just kind of shut off that module, you're fine. So it's, once again, you do need to be prepared with a few caveats of just understanding the kind of movie you're going into, the kind of movies that came before this one, and really work with it.
Evidently, we are infringing upon the cat's domain. So, with that, I'm going to say adieu.
Yeah.
This has been another quick and dirty review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep. Upvote, rate, review. Let us know down in the comments what you like, what you didn't like. If you have any movies you want us to check out, we'll be glad to check them out.
There's a few really good challenge movies coming out. Yeah. So as much as I know how much you guys love these reviews and how much you guys all pay attention, we appreciate the people who have been watching. The rest of you who have not been watching, you suck, but you'll never know that. Yeah. So, if you want to challenge us to a movie, feel free to put it in the comments.
See you guys next time.
Dog Show. That's the one I don't want to see.
Yeah.
I'm dying for them to not have us go watch Dog Show.
Yeah, from the makers of Smurfs and Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
And freaking, when did dogs need to talk to be a great companion in movies?
Tintin.
His dog did just fine. Snowball was great.
Homeward Bound?
Except for that was an entire cast.
Yeah.
There are humans interacting with dogs. They don't need to talk.
But the dogs don't talk to the humans.
You're right.
It's the dogs and the cat all just.
Yes, but the Rottweiler likes rap. If that's not canned racism, I don't know.
They give a Rottweiler a bikini wax.
That's common for show dogs.